Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm sure by the thumbnail you'll realise that this is another 3D printing video. I thought I'd bring you another update as to how I've been getting on since the last video. And there's been some ups and downs, to say the least. Thankfully now I think I'm on the right track with what I'm doing. But so I thought I'd bring you an update as to what I've actually achieved. I think in the last video I was getting quite stressed with not getting prints right. We had failures. I think I've got to the root cause of most of them, or the root causes, because there's more than one. Most of them are self-induced by myself, not knowing what I'm doing, and there has been some other issues. The interlayer delaminating, or not sticking, I think has been down to the temperature and ambient temperature. I worked backwards along the sort of time frame of when the prints were done, and where it's delaminated, that was overnight in here, where obviously it cooled down quite a bit, and the ambient temperature must have dropped down quite a bit. So I did some experimenting to actually have the heater running overnight to keep the ambient temperature up, and it was like 20 odd degrees in here overnight, and all the prints worked fine. So that says to me that it's not necessarily the printer's fault that those particular prints failed. Things like, okay, now I don't know if in the last video I had this nose cone, but I have since printed a fuselage. None of this is glued at all yet. You know, it's all just slipped together so it can all come apart. But all of these prints have come out perfectly first time. I have printed things like battery hatch, again all just trial printing. It's also to use up this roll of filament, because I don't want to open a new roll of filament until I come to do the bigger prints. I want to use up this roll. A lot of people have said that filament can absorb moisture and that can give iffy prints, so I'd rather, while this one's open, use up this filament and get it done. So as you can see, the printer's going just now quite happily. I was printing another part for this glider. It's a wing root section. But other things that I found during the process of getting to this stage, what had happened, I've had a couple of prints fail where, again, I don't know how well you're able to see, but that is the base layers of one of these, and that is another one, and they both failed at different points, quite low down. And what I noticed was that it was like ridged, or it was bumpy. I was like, that's a bit odd, what's going on there? And I happened to look in along the line of the nozzle, and I could see there was a gap, so the filament wasn't going through it. Why is the filament not going through? I said to myself. I thought that the nozzle had clogged up, so I had it all apart in here, cleaning out the nozzle, feeding it through again. It all seemed to be fine. But then I also noticed that the filament itself was getting worn in the extruder. Long story short, the tension on the filament, I think, was far too much. So as soon as there's any sort of resistance, it would grind the filament away, get it hot and distort it, and then it would actually jam up in the Bowden tube. So I've backed off the compression, tension on the filament, whatever you want to call it, so it's only just tight on it and can move it, and then a little more, and that's it. And so far all of the prints since have been fine. So touch wood, that's it now sorted for now, and we're going to keep on getting good prints out of it. I have gone round and checked all of the eccentrics on all the running wheels to make sure they're, again, all just sitting nicely after they've bedded in for a while. And it's all good. I've re-leveled the bed God knows how many times, and that's all seems to be good. So now it's just a case of letting it do its thing, keeping it printing. As much as I want to keep it running 24/7, I don't know if that's going to be possible. What I do want to do is build some sort of enclosure, removable enclosure here for the printer, so it can create its own ambient temperature. The heated bed would heat up this area quite nicely and keep it at a good temperature. But that's going to be a little bit further down the line. I've got to figure out how I'm going to do it. whether it's going to be plywood or foam or whatever. But yeah, I thought I'd bring you this relatively quick video just to let you know how it's going. And now I think, fingers crossed, I've cracked it, and we're going to be getting good prints from now on. I have got, well, I'll show you. I have got a big roll of filament. This is actually a 2 kilo roll. They were on offer from Technology Outlet. And I've bought this because when I come to do the big print that I need to do, I've got to do 2 prints that are going to need the best part of 1 kilo of filament each. So I thought I might as well get this to do that with. The only thing being is I didn't realise quite how big the roll was, and it's not going to fit here on that spool holder. So I've got to figure out what I can do and make to take this spool and have it here. So this printer might be making a spool holder to go here to take this. So any thoughts on comments on what I can do to take the bigger spools? All greatly appreciated. But yeah, that's where we are, or that's where I am. I'm quite happy with what I'm getting out of this now. And I'm sure there'll be more videos on stuff that I've printed or projects that I'm making. This glider, I think, is what is going to be coming out of this printer most after the other stuff that I'm doing. I might sit down at some point and try and 3D model my own design. I don't know, we just have to wait and see. What I might be able to do is use it as a tool to make a plug for fuselages. I've seen a couple of people doing that, so that might be something I can look at learning. This is all ideas just now, to be honest. I'm glad I've just got it working how I want it to. So for the time being, I'm just going to keep on knocking out the bits and pieces that I've got going. Once this filament is done with, we'll get a brand new spool in and start making up the bigger pieces that failed last time. But yeah, it's a case of waiting for things to finish now. So yeah, I'm going to keep on, and I'll come back to you when I've got more updates. I've got more interesting things to say about the thing. So until then, I'll catch you later.